afternoon, sir. Let me share my slide. Am I heard, sir?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. The virtual floor is now yours.
Okay, sige. Nakita na po ba?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, sige. Okay, once again, good afternoon. Ay nabanggit naman kanina, I'm currently affiliated with the Department of Education, Disaster Risk Reduction Management Service. So I'm currently in the government office. So from time to time, I have also my freelance in my architectural design studio. So for the next slide, for this presentation, this is just a leveling off with the hospitality and tourism, and also with the architecture. So, if you may, if allowed, how can you define in one word the word sustainability? Also, in one word, how would you define architecture? And last, how would you define climate change? Because the entire session of my presentation, I'll be talking about these three words: sustainability, the architecture, and climate change, and relevance to the hospitality and tourism. So just to level off with the participants, and also I'm first time in discussing this one. So I just searched the definition of hospitality and tourism, that it was the field that focuses on providing accommodation to visitors at hospitality-related industries such as hotels, motels, restaurants, cruise ships, country club, casino, and convention center, while tourism is focused on providing quality attraction and events in order to entice tourists to come. So I'll just give the following example, a notable buildings when it comes to hotels. So ano po kaya itong nasa larawan? So you can type if kaya nyo po. So ito po ay the Marina Bay Sand from Singapore. Alam nyo naman ito. So this hotel was designed by renowned architect Moshe Safdie. This iconic integrated resort combines luxurious accommodation, high-end retail, world-class dining, and entertainment with a unique architectural design that has become a landmark. Next one, yan. Sige po, the Burj Al Arab. So, well-known ito sa sail-like structure na sa shape mismo. And ultra-luxurious amenities. This hotel has become synonymous with opulence and sets high standards in hospitality design. Next one, an interior design in Tokyo, Japan, the Hotel Aman. Hotel Aman exemplifying minimalist, traditional Japanese aesthetics. This hotel provides a serene retreat within a bustling city, merging hospitality with cultural architecture. And last one is the Ice Hotel Sweden. In Sweden, so rebuilt every winter with ice from the nearby river, this hotel exemplifies both unique design and ecotourism by using renewable materials for construction. So, ayan, nag-present lang ako ng example para ma-level off lang din tayong lahat on what we are talking about tourism and hotel. So, kanina I asked you one word on sustainability, but in the definition of United Nations Brundtland Commission, it was defined that sustainability is meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. While architecture naman, ayan, babalikan lang natin from Republic Act number 9266 that architecture is the art and science of profession of planning, designing, and constructing buildings in their totality, taking into account their environment in accordance with the principle of utility, strength, and beauty. And last one, climate change. So matunog na ito ngayong climate change dahil sa ano yan, sa nararanasan natin sa ating bansa. So a climate change is a long-term shift in temperature and weather patterns. So ang difference niya with weather is a short term. So usually si climate change, mararamdaman natin yan around 20 to 30 years. So, kaya tinatawag talaga siyang long-term shift. Okay, for my next point, daanan muna natin ano nga ba ang role ni architecture sa hospitality and tourism? So from one article that I have searched in the internet, the Vera Iconica article, it said that the impact of architectural elements and design principle in shaping not only physical spaces but also the memories and impression. The focus is on how design can transform structures into a memorable destination, impacting the success of hospitality architecture. Some of their, in the article, number one, the importance of first impression daw. So, a well-designed hotel or resort creates an immediate impact, setting the tone for the guest entire stay. So, kung anong nakita mo sa pinakauna, it really, nag-i-impact on engaging the stakeholders or the clients. Another one, architecture in hospitality and tourism, creating memorable experiences. Every design element, from spatial layout to material selection, contributes to the overall story and atmosphere of space. Designing environment that engage the senses and evoke emotions is a key in hospitality. Next one is the functionality meets aesthetics. So designer must ensure that the spaces are visually appealing, practical, and accommodating to diverse guest needs. This includes considering ease of navigation, operational efficiency, and strategic placement of amenities. So, ma'am, usually, hindi lang talaga appeal ang tinitingnan natin when it comes to hotels and tourism. We also see the function, madali ba tong daanan, and ano yan, i-route. So the next one, the wellness factor in hospitality design. So sustainability has been important in hospitality design for quite some time, but more and more people are looking for the wellness factor. They seek rejuvenating or transformative experience that goes beyond traditional spa offerings. And adapting to cultural and local context in design. Understanding and incorporating a location's cultural and local context vital to hospitality design. The design wants to reflect and respect the local heritage, traditions, and environment. So, to sum up in the Vera Iconica article, it stated that the role of architecture and design in hospitality is multifaceted, encompassing aesthetics, functionality, sustainability, technology, and cultural sensitivity. These elements work in unison to create spaces that are not only visually stunning, but also offer rich, absorbing, and meaningful experiences for guests. Okay, so upon searching naman for hospitality, ano naman yung impacts ng hospitality and tourism? So, in general, alam naman natin ito, hospitality and tourism impact various aspects, especially number one, economic impact. So nasasabi natin na usually the tourism is also a backbone of a country. Other than that, social and cultural impacts. And lastly, parang marami pa tong aspect, but I identified only 3, environmental impact. So for this presentation, dito ako mag-focus on the environmental impacts of tourism and hospitality. So okay, on environmental impacts. So pumunta muna tayo sa positive note ng environmental impact. Of course, tourism, promotion of conservation and protected areas, environmental awareness and education, advancement of sustainable practices, and last one, restoration and rehabilitation efforts. But on the negative side, on environmental impact, nandiyan na yung resource depletion on resources, pollution, biodiversity loss and habitat destruction, carbon footprint and climate change, and waste generation and plastic pollution. So, alam nyo ba for this presentation that United Nations Environment Program o UNEP reported in last 2019 emissions from building operations had reached record high levels and estimated that direct building carbon emission must be halved by 2030 in order to reach the 2050 net zero targets, the UN targets. Meanwhile, from the hotel sector standpoint, which is anymore rosy, as the industry's global footprint continues to grow rapidly, hotels will need to reduce their absolute carbon emission daw by 66% by 2030 and 90% by 2050 to avoid corresponding increase in carbon emission. So some of the details na nahanap ko in the Sustainable Travel International, ito daw yung carbon footprint on global tourism. Kung makita natin, tourism is responsible for roughly 8% of the world's carbon emission. From plane flights and boat rides to souvenirs and lodgings, various activities contribute to tourism's carbon footprint. So punta tayo sa emissions by mode of transport. Today, transportation is tourism's main source of greenhouse gas emission. On average, planes and cars generate the most CO2 per passenger mile, with tour buses, ferries, and trains coming well behind. In recent years, the number of people traveling internationally skyrocketed as airfare become more affordable. Similarly, between 2005 and 2016, transport-related tourism emission increased by more than 60%. And also from the Sustainable Travel International, energy use in hotels in Barbados, an example given, the data source from Caribbean Hotel Energy Efficiency Action Program 2012, that many accommodations rely on heating and air conditioning to keep guest rooms a pleasant temperature in hot or cold climates. This energy intensive system creates CO2 as to the water heaters used to warm showers, pools, and spas. Electricity used to power lights, TVs, and other equipment. So emissions from lodging tends to be highest in resorts and hotels that offer modern services, while smaller lodgings such as homestays and guest houses have lower emission for the most part. So sa same website, the Sustainable Travel International, sinabi nga dito nila na with the impacts of climate change becoming increasingly evident, it is critical that local governments, tourism, business, and suppliers, along with individual travelers daw, all take action to reduce industry reliance on fossil fuels. While new technologies such as solar-powered water heaters, temperature-controlled system, energy-saving appliances allow the industry to lessen its footprint. So projections indicate that tourism emission could reach 6.5 billion metric tons by 2025. This represents the 44 increase from 2013 and equivalent to about 13% of current global greenhouse gas emission. So for those emissions that aren't yet avoidable, ito yung pinopropose nila. So currently practicing the carbon offsetting should be used to complement sustainability practice and reduce tourism's carbon footprint. So, ayan, pinag-usapan natin kanina si positive, nag-deep dive tayo on the negative. Ano naman yung current efforts on climate change? So, ayan, kung makikita nyo, sino kaya ang familiar sa diagram na ito? So, ito ang presented by the United Nations or the 17 Sustainable Development Goals as the 17 SDGs and corresponding 169 SDG targets offer the world a new direction. Tourism can and must play a significant role in delivering sustainable solution for people, the planet, and prosperity and peace. Tourism is connected specifically in goals 8, 12, and 14, or the inclusive and sustainable economic growth, sustainable consumption and production, or the SCP, and lastly, the sustainable use of oceans and marine resources. Other than SDGs, meron rin tayong practicing na environmental, social, and governance or ESG. So on environmental, ito yung kumbaga need i-practice to minimize the carbon footprint, conserving resources, and adapting sustainable practices. While the social, this should include prioritizing ecotourism, which supports both cultural heritage and natural conservation while educating tourists on responsible behaviors that reduce environmental harm. And lastly, governance. Companies are held accountable for their environmental impact, and are expected to disclose their efforts and achievements related to ESG goals, making climate action part of the business strategy and operation. So, balik ako sa architecture. So, ano yung mga good practices and mga ginagawa para maka-contribute and malesen yung carbon footprint. So kanina, it was discussed already by Architect Yap. Ang ganda ng discussion ng Architect Yap. She detailed and even presented her projects that adapting climate change and such principles. So, iraran through ko na lang din. Increasingly, adapting sustainable and climate-conscious design principle is one of the key to address climate change. Nabanggit na rin ito rin kanina, the passive design strategies, the energy efficient system, the thermal insulation and green roofs. So, one of the example that I found is the Hyatt Regency Hotel. Also, use of renewable energy. Itong Landal Resort, Marianalm in Austria, ginagamit nito ay hydropower. So, from the renewable energy, nandiyan yung solar power, wind and hydropower, geothermal heating and cooling. For sustainable building materials naman, ito yung low carbon materials, locally sourced materials, and natural and biodegradable materials. Water conservation and management, the rainwater harvesting system, the low flow fixtures and gray water recycling, and climate resilience architecture such as flood resistant design, hurricane and typhoon resistant structure, and seismic design in earthquakes. So this the Saudi's first LED certified hotel, the building green certification na binanggit na rin kanina ni Architect Yap, the LED certification, leadership in energy environmental design, Green Globe certification, and the BREEAM, the certification or the Building Research Establishment Environmental Assessment Method. And ito yung mga, kumbaga, in future. And ngayon, currently ginagamit na, but moreover in the future, mas madidevelop ito, yung use of smart technologies for energy management. So yung BMS, the Building Management System, the smart thermostat and sensors, and sustainable tourism app and digital platforms. Also, the design for natural ventilation and indoor air quality, the cross ventilation design, the basics, the use of natural building materials for air quality, and indoor plants and biophilic design. And I think this is the last slide, the sustainable landscape design, also including the landscaping native and green spaces. So just to sum up, by adopting green building practices, using renewable energy, prioritizing water conservation, and designing for climate resilient, the industry is making significant stride toward reducing its environmental impact. So, okay, for the last slide from Architect Norman Foster, he said that everything we design is response to the specific climate and culture of a particular space. So, ayun, maraming salamat po. I hope kahit konti, may natutunan tayo on my discussion. Okay, back to you, sir. I think you're muted, sir.
There you go. Once again, thank you very much, Architect Mark Anthony Nito, for supplementing the discussion of the former with regards to sustainable practices and hospitality and tourism design of tomorrow. And with that, we shall be ushering our panel talk, wherein we will be raising some questions in a way to clarify or to clear the air with regards to hospitality and tourism design of tomorrow. And with that, we would like to invite our two